What's going on, everyone? This is Richey Plemons with Echo Means Business, the user advisory group. I'm one of the council members here, and we're here at the 2019 GIE+EXPO, I guess you would say the kickoff event. So getting everything started. With me, I've got Kris Kiser. I guess you would say he's the president of the GIE. How would you tell us what that is?
I'm the managing partner of the show, but I'm the president and CEO of the Outdoor Power Equipment Institute, which owns the show. So my major members, the exhibitors out here, these equipment manufacturers, they own the show, and I manage the folks that manage the show.
That's interesting. That's a tongue twister, isn't it? Well, before we got started, we talked a little bit, and I jotted down a few questions here that I wanted to ask Kris and give you guys an idea of what goes into this show, what planning goes into it, and how far in advance it takes to put a show of this size together in magnitude. So we're just going to start with, just in case anyone doesn't know, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you fit in? You kind of already answered that question, but if there's anything else you might have missed that you'd like to add to that.
Sure. We're the face of the outdoor power equipment industry, so we represent manufacturers. We're a Washington, D.C. area-based association, so we're the face of the industry as advocates. So before Congress, before states, before the Environmental Protection Agency, Consumer Product Safety Commission, we represent their interests. We also represent their interests in this trade show, and so their principal businesses, their contractors, their dealers, people that use the equipment, that's what this show is about, is to connect the manufacturer with the end user. So the folks that use our products, to get them in here to understand, see the newest, latest products, whether it's software, robots, mowers, you name it, you can find it here, see it here, ride it here. And that's our job. And we work with our partners in the landscape community, the National Association of Landscape Professionals. They're engaged in the show. And PGMS, the Professional Ground Skier Society, they're also work with us. And so we partner with them to get the folks that we need here.
Deal. And he said, get you here and use the equipment. That was the key word, use the equipment. We've got a demo area outside, and if you guys haven't seen it, it's enormous. I mean, you get out there and you can play on the equipment for hours, and get real world testing other than, a few odds and ends that you can't get here. But for the most part, you can get on the machine, test it out, see what it's made of, and enjoy your time on it. So I guess the next question I want to ask is, I know we talked a little bit before. The show's been around for 36 years?
36 years.
So 36 years the show's been around. So what actually gave them the idea to really start this show?
Some time ago it was a purchasing show. Back before big box, back before the internet. Shows like this were oftentimes used to sell equipment. And so folks who bought equipment would come to these shows and they'd do a lot of ordering on the floor. And so back then it was the International Lawn Garden and Equipment Show. And the landscape folks had their own show. But that's what it got started. It was a selling show. Manufacturers got together, sold off the show floor 36 years ago.
So that 36 years ago, the show's the same age as me. In case anybody wanted to know. So initially, do you know how hard it was to get it off the ground initially?
If you look around, we have 1,000 exhibitors, over 1 million square feet, 20 acres outdoors. It's an extraordinarily challenging event. Literally thousands of attendees. Again, lots of these folks are here, and it's the life's blood, right? So it's very, very challenging. There's all kinds of exhibitor issues and attendance issues and registration issues, and are you a dealer, are you a manufacturer, are you a participant? So lots and lots of moving parts. And as I'm talking with you folks, this is an evolution of how we communicate. So the marketplace has changed. Remember the advent of big box. There's still the dealer body, but now so much is done online, and the social media community is critically important now. And so the show has had to evolve along those lines. And so this is a place, I call it a family reunion. I started, it's my 12th year here. In 2007, the equipment show merged with the landscape show to create what is GIE+EXPO. And so it's grown every year since 2009. We grew again this year. So we're doing something right. I think what is critically important and what's different about this show, and why people keep coming back, you mentioned it, those 20 acres outside. A lot of folks go to trade shows, like the car dealership, and they look at a product, it's sitting there, it's all shiny, it's pretty. But we're working for it. If you see one of our machines running, somebody's doing a job. So these people want to know what that machine is like to do a job. So we let you run them, dig, cut, mow, run your UTV, and so we're a demonstration show and an exhibit show.
Wow, that's amazing. What all goes into this? I mean, it's astounding. What do you expect it to turn into? The show is today. What do you expect it to turn into as it grows some more? Because we've talked about the magnitude it is to put on a show that's large, the logistics that goes into it. What do you see going into the future, growing into it?
You bet. You got to stay relevant. What are the challenges today? What does this show give us? The show has to be relevant. What do we do at this show to help people do business in today's evolving marketplace? Huge labor workforce issues today. So there's a lot of training and programming and education for landscape contractors and dealers and hardscape contractors about workforce development issues. Changes in technology. You've seen out here the Advent battery product is exploding across the show floor, right? So what's the latest there? Robotics. You're seeing an explosion of robotics for both consumer and commercial. Now sports fields robotics are out here. The latest in engine technologies. We have a number of regulatory challenges, the state of California in particular, making it very, very hard for the internal combustion engine community to operate. So the latest in engine technologies, how they marry up the product is here. We learned that landscapers are looking, one way to deal with workforce development is to keep people employed year round. So that may be snow and ice, or do some tree work in the landscape business. So we heard folks wanted to learn about trees. What did we do? We cut down a 70-foot tree Monday in Cave Hill Cemetery, put it on a flatbed, and drove it into Freedom Hall. Put it in a stand, a 16,000-pound tree stand. Erected it, got in some tree climbing crews, partnered with the Davey Tree Company, and we're putting on tree demonstrations and tree training. That's what Expo does. We take all these resources, marshal them together to address the needs. Now we're going to do drone training. Now that you got that tree, what people whether you're an arborist or a landscaper that's starting to do tree, one of the ways you look at a tree is with a drone. And landscapers are using drones, so we're doing drone training next year. So we're trying to stay relevant. What does a landscaper need, a dealer, a hardscaper, to do their business? We want to have it here, whether it's software, robot, or the latest Z. It's here.
That's amazing what goes on in putting this show together and what all that it brings. Not only just to the lawn care guy, which most people think is lawn care, and you realize that it's trees, it's landscaping, it's hardscaping, it's lawn care and maintenance. So there's a ton that goes into this. The next question I have, you've launched the Turf Mutt Foundation, which promotes the value of living landscapes, and I know this is very close to your heart.
It is.
Would you mind telling us a little more
close
about
to my heart. Look, I believe in the outdoors, and I believe in the value of our lawns and landscapes. Turf Mutt is a real dog. Turf Mutt, the character, is a cartoon, and it's used in schools to teach kids about the outdoors, the importance of the outdoors. Look, nature starts at your back door, right? Our urban habitat are our yards. These are the people that create outdoor spaces, create your yards, and we know the importance of those yards to families for stress and anxiety for kids. Any pediatrician will tell you the best thing you can do for your kid, get them dirty, get them a dog. And we help with that. So what we did was, several years ago, some people were saying that lawns were bad, and you got to get rid of them, they're aesthetic and they're a problem. That ain't the case at all. And so we created Turf Mutt. It's an education program. 10 years ago, 70 million kids have used Turf Mutt in the schools. We partner with Scholastic. But there's a real dog behind Turf Mutt. Turf Mutt's a cartoon character, but like Superman, where there was Clark Kent and Spider-Man that had Peter Parker, Turf Mutt had Lucky. And Lucky was a real rescue dog. He got discovered laying under a conference room table at a big fancy office building in New York City. And he became the face of the program, and he was my dog. So I am passionate about that, and he was a rescue dog, and so part of our programming, part of our messaging is rescue dogs. We actually have rescue dogs here at Expo. Hopefully we can talk about that. But Turf Mutt has been an enormous success. 2 television shows have used him, Lucky Dog on CBS and Ready, Set, Bet on the CW. He's in the Global Learning Lab of the United States Green Building Council, Green Ribbon Schools, Department of Education, Department of Energy, little old OPEI in our education programs. But it's about the value of the outdoors, the value of our yards to our lives. So look, kids want a house with a yard because kids want a house with a dog. And we've used that to carry our message.
So Lucky really is a lucky dog.
Lucky's a lucky dog. I got to tell you, he was about 14 and I lost him. He died at the Turf Mutt Foundation offices. He had a catastrophic event, but he had a long celebratory life. And at Mutt Madness, we have a bunch of adoptable dogs tomorrow. And we did a preliminary meeting with the Kentucky Humane Society today, and I think I fell already. I think I got the one picked out. Turf Mutt 2.
You got Turf Mutt 2 coming, right?
Mulligan.
Oh, that's great.
I think Mutt Mulligan's going to be going home.
All right. Well, you know, you hear a lot of times we talk about the shortages of the labor field in the industry. What do you think we can do as pros, business owners, and generally in this job field, what we can do to overcome that?
Look, this is not just a problem for the landscape community. So whether you're every hotel chain, restaurant chain, every manufacturer that I represent, we're all struggling with labor issues now. And so it's that entry-level labor, and whether it's a monetary, whether it's the price you pay per hour or benefits, you have to make it attractive to them. Well, one of the ways I know folks do it is they year-round labor. So they're getting away from the seasonality of it. That's why it's so important, whether it's snow and ice or trees or Christmas tree lights. What can a landscape contractor do to bring people in and keep them year-round and keep them busy year-round so that they're in a cash position come spring buying time? But it's a huge, huge challenge, but not just for us. And so whether it's robotics or other equipment opportunities that let you deal with workforce challenges, there's equipment here that maybe lets you work with fewer men or women. What's the other thing we're doing here at Expo? We've got women in tree training. We're bringing a lot more women into the workforce. But that's what we're doing here. And by getting this community together, again, I call it a family event, 20,000, actually today, probably 25,000 people here today in our business. This is a private show, so these are all people in the business. And when you get this much collective talent, dealers, hardscapers, landscapers, they solve problems. And that's what's going on.
That's amazing. And we'll wrap it up with just one last question here. And is there any sneak previews that you can share about what's next for the GIE Expo, either in format, goals, or etc.?
You know, I can't keep a secret to save my life. I'll never work for the CIA. One of the things we're going to do, we have a fairly significant UTV presence here. A lot of folks use UTVs. Gosh, we've got 30 manufacturers out here that have UTV product. In the demonstration area, you don't have a lot of space to have a vehicle really where you can really showcase the capabilities of UTV. So we're going to put together a UTV track. Look, and we've got acres and acres out here. And so we're going to create a track so you can understand the capabilities and dynamics and speed of a UTV. So we'll create a UTV track. I don't want to call it a speed track, but I have here for the camera, so that's out. So we'll do that. And I did mention one of the tree training. That has come off really well. It's only been up an hour, and we have these terrific crews over there with the Davey Tree Company, and some of our chainsaw folks want to, that's a success. They know it, and they want to do that. So that will expand. And the drones for landscapers, drones for trees, we're going to expand that and have formal programming next year as well. I wasn't supposed to say any of that, but don't tell nobody.
I'll keep it a secret.
All right, I appreciate that.
Okay. You know, in the GIE Expo 2019 kickoff party, if you guys can't get down here, you know, check us out live. You know, check us out online, and hey, I appreciate it, Kris.
Thanks for being here.
Great, I enjoyed it.
See you next year.
Thank you.